And if you've opted to go real this year and you've put your Christmas tree up over the weekend, it faces a gruelling slog until the 25th of December and beyond, to say the least.
Well, to keep your tree's sparkle alive for as long as possible indoors, we've asked David Dominy to share his tips. Good morning, David. I'm holding off for my real tree because I did it last year and it was very much on the floor by Christmas Day. So I'm trying to hold off till about the 15th, but it's killing me.
When you say hold off, are you talking hold off buying it or hold off bringing it indoors?
I haven't bought it yet, so both.
OK. Well, this is the best tip, is to buy them as early as you possibly can, because all the Christmas trees are cut and delivered into the garden centres in the last week of November. And if you wait right the way up, even to the 24th of December, it's still the same tree in the garden centre as it was at the end of November. And the secret is to buy your tree early, you get the better choice, and then bring it into your own garden. And then there's a couple of things you can do to help the tree last longer, because the real secret about Christmas trees is to treat them just like cut flowers, because they've been separated from their roots. And when you buy cut flowers or you get given cut flowers, the first thing you do is chop off the end of the stems, really, to expose fresh tissue for the plants, for the flowers to be able to draw up moisture. And if you put a little bit of feed or sugar water in your vase with your flowers, they last considerably longer. And that's the secret with Christmas trees. By getting your tree early as you possibly can, as I say, they're all delivered at the same time. And you treat it in the same way. As you can see, this stump just here, this one here has healed over a little bit since it was cut. You take a saw, and then you cut off about 2 centimetres off the end to expose fresh tissue of the plant, and then put it in a bucket with a combination of water, with a little bit of diluted sugar as well, and the tree will be sucking up that extra water. I mean, some big trees can suck up to a couple of pints of water every couple of days, and the secret is making sure your trees are well hydrated and getting a stand that you can not only secure your tree in, but to hold a reservoir of water. These ones here also, I've got these things that come out that enable it to be a little bit more secure. You regularly top up your tree as you go. And to make the tree last even longer, Holly, it's not positioning it near a radiator, or you shouldn't position anything, obviously, near an open fire, but any heat source. Because a lot of these trees are naturally due and enjoy and grow in colder climes. So if we make sure we bring it in later, obviously, if you've got it in your own back garden, the later you bring it in, the fresher it will be, of course. But buy it early and make sure you get the better choice. And of course, your tree is sucking up water in your garden while you're waiting to put it in, rather than not sucking up any water in garden retailers. So the secret is to also buy from professional garden retailers as well, not from a lay-by or out and about in a dodgy car boot or anything like that. Buying from a proper retailer. Here you can see here, this is a group of growers, Needle Fresh. It's grown in Britain. There's the logo there. But what I like about this is you get information on the trees, and you also get this here, where the tree has got a unique number to this very tree that you can go online and find out exactly where the tree has been grown. So keeping them fresh does pretty well by making sure there's plenty of moisture and that they're brought in a little later and they're not by any form of heat source. Now, a very big popular thing that's happening at the moment is, rather than cut trees, having pot-grown trees. Now, some time ago, some growers used to dig them up from the ground, put them into pots with a little bit of soil, but a lot of roots got damaged during that time, and when you planted them out afterwards, they didn't really do very well. These trees here are pot-grown, which means they've been grown in a pot, actually in the ground. As you can see, there are holes on the side of the container here for the moisture to get in, and some roots have grown through. So there's a little bit of root damage, but the main core of the roots are protected within the pot. So you can bring this inside your house, decorate it, enjoy it, and then I'd climatise it, moving it back out again, maybe in the garage or the shed, just so it gets used to the temperature from your warm lounge out into your garden, and then plant it out into your garden or a community project or a park or something similar to that for the tree to live again. Now, there are a whole host of varieties. Let me give you some hints and tips. This one, to begin with here, is the traditional Norway spruce, Picea abies. And, for those of us of a certain age, whether it's 60s, 70s and 80s, the smell of this tree was our childhood Christmas because it has a beautiful scent. It's got slightly spiky needles that go with that. And if you're not watering it, it's by a heat source, it can lose some of its needles, but without doubt, it's the most fragrant. In fact, Oslo, capital of Norway, give a tree to London. That's the one in Trafalgar Square of this very, very variety. Now, the other one, which is the most popular tree, in fact, I think it's somewhere in the region of 7 million trees we buy in the UK, fresh trees for inside our home. This is the most popular. It is, in fact, Abies nordmanniana. It's the Nordman as such. It has softer foliage, not as spiky, very good needle-holding capabilities and tiered branches. It doesn't smell as pine-like as a Norway spruce, but is a lot more practical in the home. Now, this one here, this originates from the Rocky Mountain region. This is a blue spruce, Picea pungens glauca, and it has this lovely steely blue needles that grace the outside if you're looking for something a bit different. And the needle holding capabilities is somewhere in between these two varieties here. So if you're looking for something special, that goes. Now, some trees can be very wide. This particular one here is very good from that. It's the Fraser fern, incredibly popular in America. In fact, it is the preferred choice. More of these trees than any other variety has been used as the official White House Christmas tree. I have one of these myself in my own home because it doesn't spread out too much. So it's a nice, columnar shape more than the spreading. And there's a beautiful balsam fragrance that comes with that. And that's the magic of Christmas trees. There's a whole host of different varieties. And for those who like to have a connoisseur selection like fine wines or decent steaks or handmade shoes, you can choose your own connoisseur selection of Christmas trees. The Armorica here is the Serbian spruce, green on the top, beautiful bluey underside of the needles here. The Korean fir that we've got here, look, there's even little cones that are growing on it just there. And look at the white light underneath the foliage and then this beautiful soft needles. And over here, Lassia carpa as well. Just take a look at the way this is the Arizona fir as well. So there are lots of different varieties of tree, and you can choose a different one every year and remember that specific Christmas to the type of tree you had. So the secret is
they're all right.
credible retailers, and
if you're a borrower, then those the posh ones, do they get bigger?
Yeah, in the garden, when you plant them out afterwards, of course, they do grow bigger in location, so make sure you've got a decent space for that. And a lot of these container trees that have been grown in containers are generally smaller, of course, because the bigger container that they need. But yes, in the garden, they will go quite big. And in fact, in many cases, as you go around streets, you can see big Christmas trees that people would have planted 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, nice. Keep the memory alive.
David. Thank you.
Thank you very much.